Alright guys, hey, it's Chuck with Birch's Lawn Care, and today we're going to talk about insurance, especially adding your extra services like your snow removal since we're coming up on wintertime, your, for me, like I do sprinkler blowout, so I had to add irrigation to my general liability policy. And I know as a new guy, you're wondering, well, how do I even find the policies? So what we're going to do today is we're just going to look real quick on how I found the insurance that I use, take a look at my policy, what it costs, and what it covers, and how that all works. So first thing we're going to look at is, how did I find my insurance policy? Well, my vehicle insurance and my home insurance and all that is through State Farm. However, State Farm would not insure my business because I have not been in business for 3 years. Now I can. They would take me, but they can't beat the rate that I get now from the insurance company that I've been with for the last 3 years. So what I did when I went to look for my insurance, instead of calling up every insurance company and asking, hey, can I have a quote for this? Can I have, and then just pretty much running down the yellow pages or the Google pages, I went on to Google and I just put in for an insurance broker. There it gave me 3 on the map that I'm close to. I'm looking to see if mine came up. Okay. So this one right here is the one that I went through, Conover Insurance. Someone I knew had recommended them as well. But you can see here on the map, on the red dot, all the freaking insurance agencies that are around me. And like there you see a State Farm. That's actually my State Farm agent for my house and my cars and everything. But as far as business insurance, I went and met with a couple of people. However, when I met with Conover, they had given me, or they had found me the best policy. Now the policy that I have so here's my policy, and you can see I renew every February. Agent, it's actually Ohio Security Insurance Company. However, it's through Liberty Mutual. I guess is that like the master insurer, and then Ohio is like I don't know what the terminology of that is. However, I have a $2 million aggregate, $1 million on each occurrence. So I can be sued or have an issue to where I have to use my insurance, and it can be up to $1 million. And then I can have another one that would also cover up to another claim that would also cover up to $1 million. If I ever hit that $2 million total, I've maxed my policy out. I did up my personal injury. I have $1 million on personal, and then $15,000 on medical, $1 million on property. I do it at 1 year at a time. I have, let's see, Tuskegee is one of my certificate holders because I still do some stuff through, excuse me guys, through them. This is going to change state to state for you. I'm not sure the insurance rules state per state. This is what I had to have. Some of the commercial properties I worked on in the past, you had to have the minimum was $1 million policy, and so this, which is why I got it. Some other ones I've also not been able to bid on because they want you to have a minimum of $5 million. And the bid, for me to up my insurance, if I would have won the bid, the math just wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth raising my insurance just to be able to bid a property. So not a big deal. Let's look at what I pay Let's see. Oh, this is also, I had to have, it's called an FRIC. This was because I'm a licensed commercial applicator. So I had to have that on my insurance, added on, the coverage added to my insurance as well, since that's another one. You can see commercial pesticide applicator. And this is a coverage of another $1 million. That's if I poison somebody, if I spray something that makes somebody sick and gets me sued, then that's my insurance for that. And then what we don't see here, I'll put it up here somewhere, is also what I pay a year. I pay $250 a year. That's it. That covers my commercial applicator. That's my general liability with the subclass of, it says plumbing, but it's my irrigation. All I do is irrigation blowouts and sprinkler head replacements. So that covers that. I just had snow blowing added to it. Did not raise my policy. And a big thing when you're adding these subclasses to your policy, guys, it's because of your, or at least with me, it was because of my, one thing they're going to look at from state to state, at least with me, the reason that me adding these subclasses to my policy, it didn't raise my insurance rates, was because of my my revenue. So when I added the sprinkler blowouts, for example, to my insurance policy, first question they asked, well, what's the revenue expected this year? And I was like, well, probably only about $5,000 because it's only a month and a half season for sprinkler blowouts, maybe 2 months depending on the weather. And it was my first year. I wasn't going to do a whole lot, so I was like, yeah, I'll be under $5,000. Which I could have said 10 grand and it still wouldn't have raised my policy. Once you go over 10 grand in revenue, then some things start to change with my policy. Adding snow, same question this year. I did not have snow on my policy last year. I went out and did it without having specific subclass of snow on there. This year I did have the snow class added to it because I'm probably going to be doing more. Or I know I'm going to be doing more if it snows. So I'm prepared for that. It did not raise my policy again because of the revenue. I know for a fact I'll be under $10,000. There's no way I'll be under $5,000 because it's just me. I'm solo. I'm not doing a plow. I'm just doing snow blowing and shoveling. I can salt driveways or salt walkways, and it doesn't change my insurance whatsoever. So that's all added subclass, and like I said, I pay $250 a year. I'll put that up here because I'm sure somebody's going to call BS on it. So I'll just show it. I don't care. But that is because I've been with them for 3 years. I think my first year, and I was looking through my back paperwork. If I find it, I'll put it over here. But if I don't see it pop up, then I couldn't find it. I want to say my first year was like $600 for the year. Then the next year it dropped to something, and then last year it dropped to $250. I don't see it dropping any lower than $250. However, I have to do a review this year with the insurance company because of my revenue. My first year they looked at a solo guy who's only making, I want to say like $17,000 for mowing. And you guys have been mowing for a while, you know you're pretty much going to blow that out of the water. So my insurance is going to go up this year because I have to have my revenue reviewed, and once I start hiring people, then that also is going to change things. But the revenue is the big one for me this year. My insurance is going to go up because I can't say that I'm that low of revenue anymore. It's just everything's too apparent with what I'm adding and what the perception of my company is. There's no way to. I'm going to get a review. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to be covered the way I need to be covered. So this year I'll get a review, and then we'll see what my policy goes up to. I actually have to do the review next month, and I'll just have them review it. It's just going to be some revenue questions, and then I'll have my new policy, and maybe I'll do an update at that time unless it just destroys me. But anyway, guys, that's all it is for your insurance. The best thing is my advice is to find a broker in your area. Go in and have a sit down. Doesn't cost you anything. They'll do all the legwork for you, and it does not raise. You're not paying really any extra for that broker. If there's an added cost that I'm paying going through that broker, I don't see it. I don't feel it, and I don't care. So they're going to go out and they're going to find the best policy for you for what you'll do like an interview with them. They'll ask you a bunch of questions. You ask them, make sure you ask them questions, and then it's all there. They'll give you all the quotes from these different companies and what they found that best meets what the needs you've told them that you want. Mm-hmm. Like another thing I'm adding this year, which is going to raise my insurance substantially, is inland marine, and that is equipment specific insurance. But now that I'm getting into newer equipment, before I didn't carry it because it was all Craigslist used equipment, and I wasn't going to pay something with $1,000 deductible to cover a $500 piece of equipment. But now that everything I buy is new, it's time to look into that. However, that's a different video for a different time. So that's my general liability. Find a broker, let the broker do the legwork, and then get your policy, ask questions. And I use my broker. I don't ever talk to the insurance company. My broker handles everything for me. I'll ask her because I have one person assigned to me, your agent. And like the other day, I just sent her an email, hey, I'm going to be snow blowing this year. It's going to be residential snow blower shovel only with salting walkways. Revenue under $5,000. And she came back and she says, subclasses added to your policy did not raise your premiums. So there you go, guys. Hit me with some more, guys. I don't have a problem sharing my numbers, and I will share with you what I know and what I understand and how I went about doing things for me. And see you next time. Have a good weekend. Later.
Yeah, we are laying the place to be. Yeah.